Everyone, thank you for joining us on the Political Spotlight right here on at VOP TV. Obviously, we're streaming simultaneously on VOP 90.3 FM. My name is Esther Wachiku. First of all, I want to start off by apologizing that we did not start the show at the stipulated time. We had some technical issues that we needed to put together. However, the show must go on, and we wanted to ensure that this beautiful Easter evening that we commence the show. So once again, happy Easter to you, and officially I welcome you to the Political Spotlight. Now let's look at the scenario. Nigeria's political landscape is awash with a lot of talks. The very fabric of political parties' unity is being very well tested. The political landscape texture has obviously changed. In fact, political permutations, alliances and synergy, well, the prediction seems to be quite clear. For the first time in Nigeria's political history, you must understand that the opposition is outrightly showing alliance and attributing credence to the current dispensation. Interestingly, you would think that healthy competition makes you value winning. When you compete evenly, you value when you win. But as it stands, the current political landscape being headed by this administration is towing a different path. Well, alliances are supposedly being formed, self-interest is for the corner of the day, and obviously crudity, brutish, and what you would call a term of using insecurity to claim support or divide the polity is what is at play. On the Political Spotlight, we'll be looking at some of these political permutations, trying to understand Nigeria's political texture and possibly give a recommendation or a prediction of how 2027 will be. Just stay with us. We'll be right back.
For the extraordinary. Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV, now streaming on SLTV channel 202. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 202. Just as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
For staying with us once again, this is still the Political Spotlight. Well, as you do know, there's a major political shift underway ahead of 2027's general elections, with no fewer than 3 to 4 governors of the opposition People's Democratic Party reportedly in advanced talks to defect to the ruling All Progressives Congress and support President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's second-term bid. This development comes amid growing discontent in northern Nigeria, where some political blocs have threatened to withdraw support for Tinubu's re-election. Now, Governor Umo Ena of Akwa Ibom State has openly declared support for President Bola Tinubu. Speaking at a public event last Friday, Ena stated that partisan divisions no longer exist in his state, describing the new political landscape as a unity party of PDP, APC, PDAPC. Let's take a listen to Governor Umo at that particular event.
In the same token, I don't know how to speak from two sides of the mouth. The other day I said I was going to support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. People say, why do I say so? In the night, they go there and go and tell the Baba who will support you. In the afternoon, they do another thing. Me, I'm supporting Baba Bola Ahmed Tinubu for second term. When the time comes, I will tell you the reason. The time has not come yet. When I tell you the reason, you will know. But let me keep it first. There's no point lying to yourself. I will tell you the reason when the time comes. And you will see with me why we should support him so that he can complete what he has started. You will see what he is doing for our state. And you will know why we should not go elsewhere. So if you want another support, wait. When he finishes, we will now support another person. Akwa Ibom does not know how to flip-flop. That does not stop me from being a member of my party. I'm entitled to my own opinion. That's number two. Number three, the Senate President have told me in many fora, it has been confirmed today by the vote that has been moved, and our mother has also spoken, that they will support Pastor Omweno for a second term. So if you take your own, I take my own. You fall for me, I fall for you. Now play, no be fight. If you fall for me, I fall for you. Now wait till it be. Now play, no be fight.
Now, with this development and this endorsement, the full structure of the PDP in Akwa Ibom may be deployed to support President Tinubu and also secure the re-election of Senate President Godswill Akpabio in 2027. Now, Akpabio is reportedly coordinating ENO's planned defection and has pledged to support the governor's second-term bid in return. While speaking through Xavier, chairman of the National Assembly Service Commission at a recent event in Uyo, Akwa Ibom's representative disclosed, "We're also going to support you for a second term. You broke a record by being the first opposition governor to declare support for a second-term bid of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu." Right? Interesting. Remember, I told you at the introduction of this program that it is the first time in the history of Nigeria's political landscape where the texture or the fabric of our political administration seems to be quite a little bit unpredictable. Where you see opposition aligning with the current government in power, it must tell you the power of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Well, let me introduce my guest in the studio this evening. I actually have, by my right, I have Mr. Lawal Ekundaya, who is a political, national and social affairs commentator. Mr. Lawal, good evening. Thank you for joining us in the political spotlight today.
Good evening.
I also have Damilari, right? Bamidele, thank you very much for joining us this evening.
Thank you for having me today.
Are you surprised? I'm going to start with you, Mr. Lawal Ekundaya. Are you surprised with this? For example, some governors are supposedly meant to meet the president in London today, along with an ex-president. This PDP governor have the strong potential of defecting. There are permutations on who these PDP governors are, but we will not say until officially declared. So the question is, are you surprised with this alignment? A major political party aligning with the current administration, especially with the fact that Wike broke the jinx. How would you talk about this follow-up?
In fact, it's I won't say I'm surprised because the body language has been on for some time.
Really?
Yes.
The body language has been on for some time?
What is happening in the country, and most of these opposition governors are not speaking. They're not speaking now because we know what is exactly going on in the country. Like 3 days ago, I wanted to buy an antacid.
Okay.
That I bought last year, 800 naira. They told me this yesterday, 2,000 naira from 800. I just told them I'm not coming, but they were giving up. I said, no, please let me go and rethink. Because I was holding 800 naira, at least what it would have been 1,000, but it's 2,000. You get it? So all over the country, the people are seriously feeling the bite.
It is terrible.
And yet the governors are not speaking. You get to let you know that something is going on. So people have been, thinking about it, and when it came on board now, they are seriously not surprised because the body language has been there. They are not speaking about it now. They are not, because you are supposed to protect your people. You are a governor. You collect allocations, security voting, and all these things are not working in your state, and you are keeping quiet. It shows that something is really going on. You get it? That's why you see all this thing. So opposition has died down in Nigeria, in this country. And that's why we don't have democracy. Because democracy and opposition, they go in pari passu. Without opposition, you cannot have democracy. That's why it's called autocracy, when there's no opposition.
Oh, well, that's a very interesting one, because we're looking into that. Adetokunbo PS made quite the revelation. I'll come to you, Damilare. Now, there are permutations, or will I say accusations on the governor of Enugu State, Peter Mba, that he is suppressing the damage that insecurity has caused in the state. For example, on 2 different occasions, we've heard where these individuals or the citizens, the indigenous members, come out to cry on the state of insecurity in the state, and then you see security operatives stall them or prevent them from progressing with their protest. Sometimes you hear information about killings being done by headsmen, and then you hear the Enugu State government come out to tell you it's a lie. So a lot of Nigerians, specifically indigenes from that particular region, are saying that this thing is happening, but there's a deliberate suppression of reporting the true state of things. Now, Enugu State governor seems to be one of the PDP governors that are supposedly meant to defect to the APC. Could this be because of his alliance with the APC, that this suppression of information about the state of insecurity in his state? Could it also be that he's looking for a possible strong alignment and support from the current administration for his second-term bid?
Well, for one, his political ambition should not come or be placed ahead of the safety and welfare of the people of Enugu State. Okay. That is an issue of misplaced priorities. Right. And about the issue of the undertone, the downplaying the insecurity in the country, okay. I've noticed that has been a trend over time now, where our public office holders begin to downplay the insecurity in their states. And I believe as a governor, you are the #1 citizen of your state. Your #1 responsibility is the people. And your political ambition should never take the place of your political responsibility as the governor of the state. And I believe this is one of the issues we have in the country. We are beginning to have political leaders, political office holders who place their own political ambition ahead of the people. And it is quite disheartening. Instead of debunking this allegation, this event, why not carry out some inquiry? We all know what happened in Uromi, some couple of weeks. We have Plateau, Benue, and even Kwara recently. So any issue of insecurity that is raised in the country right now should not be discountenanced with. And I think the Enugu State governor can do better and should do better.
All right, Mr. Lawal Ekundaya, let's move on to Benue State. As of today, the latest count of persons who were killed by Fulani terrorists almost about 57 or 58 at this moment. That's the current record. And the governor came to inspect the site of the unfortunate scenario, the community where this mayhem occurred. And the rest of the community members blocked his convoy. They were like, we no go gree, we no go gree. They refused to allow him pass. Now, he looked so overwhelmed. In fact, do you know what he said? He said, please, federal government, we need your help. The state of insecurity here is terrible. We're waiting for the government to strategize and see how we can create a security synergy to combat this. Meanwhile, the other time, Ali had told his community members or his citizens or his residents not to fight back, not to carry arms, that they're working with the federal government security arm to see how they can squash all this. I mean, it's ridiculous to me as I'm saying it to you. And it tells you what, like Damilare said, when did we get to this point? When did politics get to this point?
That's why I keep saying that we have opportunists as leaders. And when you have opportunists as leaders, what they think about is that opportunity as their own personal, for their own personal gain. Because I keep saying it. The governor that is waiting for the presidency, he collects security votes now. Okay. So what is the purpose of that security vote? You are collecting allocations. You have commissioners, many different ministries. And then, if you have insecurity in your state, then how have your commissioners been working? What are they working on? What are they working about? Because you have for agriculture, and your people, most of them have been chased away from their farms. and then you are voting money into that area every year, and then the question is, where is that money going? You get it? You have commissioner for transportation, you get, and then your people cannot. I mean, the question is, all these monies you get that you are voting into these ministries, what are you using the money for?
Are you blaming the ministry for the insecurity in the state?
No, I'm saying that many of these governors are opportunists. That's what I'm saying. They're opportunists. That's why you see all these things, all these killings, insecurity has come to stay in their states. Because that's not their priority. That's not their priority. If it is their priority, they would have done something about it.
Do you think power is heavily vested on the executive at the federal level? Because one of the things that Atiku Abubakar decided to run with was restructuring. He got a lot of support from a couple of, let's say, political bureaucrats when he said he was going to work on ensuring restructuring, where power is no longer hugely vested on the federal government or the executive. When the executive has too much power, then it means that there is no room for democracy to thrive healthily, and accountability from the regional government may not be 100%. So, if that was Atiku's case in running, do you think that's what's playing out amongst all the states, where everyone is having to get a go until they hear go from the FG, until they hear stop, they don't get to do anything. They are sitting ducks.
Do you know that's why I keep talking about that security vote and the money they are making in their state, because they are making money. And so when you are making money, what are you using the money for? That means you have not been spending the money. And then we are hearing that they are spending money. Now we have two people who decide cases in this, the direction of this country. We have the Federal Executive Council,
yes,
in which the president meets with the governors. So if this thing is happening in your state, do you discuss this thing when you get to that place? It's supposed to have been heated up, because that is the priority you take to that place.
What do you think is happening with the governors?
That's
I remember during the tenure of Dave Umahi, at some point, he organized a press conference and called out the president at the time, who was President Muhammadu Buhari, and said, Fulani terrorists are killing my people. You have been quiet. You're not saying anything. You are part of the conspiracy. How come these governors are mute? Just because of second-term bid, people are being slaughtered on a daily.
And they keep making money. Now, another area is the reps that are going to the federal. You have the reps, the Senate, and the House of Assembly member. They came from the states. So why are they not talking about the Senate Assembly? Why are they making it heated up in the House of Assembly?
Have you not noticed the pattern? You don't publicly come out to criticize.
Let them see.
So you don't undermine this administration. Everyone seems to be afraid of undermining this administration publicly.
If I might say something. Now, the power of security in the state, even though the governor is the number one man, is still vested in the federal government. For example, these matters need military presence, but the governor can't. He cannot order that. You need the power of the federal government to help him do that.
For the Inspector General, please.
Thank you very much. And this issue of killing is no longer a Benue Plateau State issue. It's an issue of national security, because now I'm beginning to hear drumbeats that is coming down south, and we can see the
2 weeks ago it was in Akure. About 15 farmers were killed.
Please answer this security vote. Tell me what's the meaning of security vote. If the governor does not have some resources to take care of security in the state.
I'm coming there. Here's what I'm saying. According to our constitution, the president has the power.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari's campaign.
Exactly. He said he was going to end Boko Haram in how many months? I've forgotten now. Now look how insecurity has deteriorated since then. Look how insecurity has deteriorated, how lives are being lost on a daily. And APC is more concerned about party loyalty.
And power. All right, let's see. A couple of persons will refer to the president as someone who understands the crude nature of our political landscape. They will tell you that when it comes to street politics, Tinubu is very good. For example, we were saying earlier in the introduction of this program, where I said for the first time in a very long time, I don't know if this has ever happened in Nigeria's political history, where you have opposition political party members vying support for the current administration that is meant to be a main opposition. Now, Governor Sim Fubara, supposedly suspended Governor Sim Fubara, actually expressed his dedication to delivering democracy and good governance to people of the state in his Easter message and urged unity and reconciliation during the sacred period of Easter. Now, apparently in Port Harcourt, he said that Easter provides a unique opportunity for reconciliation, healing, and reaffirmation of shared values of peace and unity. Now, this particular message was personally signed by him, and he titled it, Renewed by the Resurrection, Advancing Peace, Unity, and Good Governance, extended warm Easter greetings to the people of Rivers State. He emphasized that this time around, he would work with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the peace and stability of the people of Rivers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you actually watched when you saw the city minister. You heard him tell you categorically that he wanted the suspended governor of Rivers State gone. But what the president did was quite okay. Now, a couple of persons have come out to say that it is a possibility, a very strong possibility, that the governor saved Sim Fubara, the suspended governor of Rivers State, and that there is a possibility that he may officially be defecting to the All Progressives Congress, one of the governors that will be defecting to the APC. Now, the question now comes to mind. Would this not reduce whatever sympathy and popularity he has garnered from the entire populace, especially those who were neutral about his person, but kind of showed their support towards him when, you know, this entire trial actually happened on his path? The second question that came to mind is, if you knew you did not have the spine to go through with politics, why did you decide to get into it if it was this easy for you to cow? And number three, what about those who have gone all the way to show loyalty and possibly disconnect themselves from persons that you would call former political allies? Where do you place them? The question is to you, Damilare.
Well, this whole Fubara quagmire for me, it just shows you how politics is played in Nigeria. My own dilemma is, how does this benefit the people of Rivers? How does this benefit? I can see here that Governor Fubara is more concerned about his own second-term agenda and his political career. You've been on loggerheads with Wike for the better part of your administration. And you've had popular support.
Obviously.
Why not do the right thing? Why not do the right thing? It is very easy to go ahead with this decision is made, but it will leave a dent in his political career, definitely. And I am disappointed in this route he's taking.
It's a permutation. No one is sure yet if he's going to be one of the governors. But normally, if you're following the political trend, there are deductions with this Easter message.
He just said
and
it's going to
reincarnation
align
of the renewed hope agenda.
Exactly, said he's aligned himself with that. And that means you'll be working with Wike, the same man who tried to destroy you. It's just so,
by urging his people to show support to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and they should align with his administration's renewed hope agenda.
Normally, even any opposition can come up and say he wants to walk the presidency.
Okay.
You get it? Because working with him doesn't necessarily mean you want to defect or you support all his idea or policy. Okay. Working with him means that you want to see the progress of this country. Don't necessarily mean you support his ideas.
Okay.
You get it? Working, that's what I see it. I don't believe it has to do with defection.
Okay.
Could just be that it's just trying to be, play politics normally to let everybody know that it's not any issue with the president and it's not against the president. It's just what has been happening so far.
You think it's just a public stunt? Just a stunt publicly doesn't mean that he actually means it.
That like he wants to. It could be just like he's just wishing the country well. That he
or
wants.
the
That's
state
why,
well. The state is governing well.
Yes, it could not.
Right.
Be, I don't think it's because if he has a good advisor and he advises himself well, he will never, at this level that he is, talk of defecting to APC because that will seriously crash him. And second, by the time APC finish with him and they dump him, you get it, he will find himself lost in the ocean because you cannot go to one side which you have defected from and you cannot go to the other because they have used you, they have dumped you. So you'll now be on your own. You have seen people who have been dumped like that.
All right.
And be phased out.
Well,
Okay.
I'm even thinking that it's not going to defect. It might be that you just carry on the good work Mr. Wike started.
I don't know. I don't
Is that
understand.
sarcasm? Are you being sarcastic right now?
I said what I said. I said what I said.
Okay.
I said.
Now let's look at this. The Northern Youth Council of Nigeria criticizing President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for not handing over power to Vice President Kashim Shettima during his visit abroad. Now, the president had told us through his special advisor on information strategy, Bayo Naniga, that he was traveling to France, Paris, working visit. It's going to be a holiday. He needed to use the opportunity to look through the first 2 years. You know, in May 29, the president will be clocking officially 2 years since he assumed office. And so there are permutations, speculations that he could do what you call an overhauling of his cabinet. And there's possibility that he may not run his campaign in 2027 with the Vice President Kashim Shettima. Well, the president has officially come out to disclose anything about 2027, but these are what his supporters and persons who've been hearing the political corridor have been talking about. Now, the Northern Youth Council are saying that it is not supposed to be so. That's the reason why you have a vice. That during the administration of Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, he handed over to his vice. The same thing too with Obasanjo. Their vice was able to take over. So why is it different in the president's case? In Buhari's time, that it happened even very, very briefly, as those in the corridors of power refused to... exactly. But that in this too, ever since the president travels, he doesn't officially hand over or say, hey, my vice, you're in charge. Instead, you will hear persons from his cabinet say that everyone is there and they have a function to perform. What do you think the president is afraid of? And why is that so? Why do you have a vice if you cannot utilize him when you're not present?
Well, if there's something I've noticed with our president is he is not generous with delegation of power.
Really?
Yes, if there's something I've noticed, it's a personal thing.
Are you sure he's not
He's
that,
not
or he's just specifically this individual?
No, he's not generous with delegation of power, which actually is a major when it comes to democracy.
Okay.
And I believe if an individual is the vice, that means you trust him, you are working together as a team, and it should not be any hassle for you to, delegate power when you're not in the country. And the country right now needs a face.
Okay.
We need a face that can address issues. You cannot be in France and say you are working remotely. The problems of Nigeria is too much to be handled from a computer.
Okay.
So I think it should just hand over. And if it does not hand over, I think we need answers. Okay. And why is he even in France? We need answers to that too. But then the inner caucus of his cabinet, they are too defensive. I notice they don't give us explanation. They are too defensive.
Maybe there's a disconnection.
Mr. Lawal. No, they are too defensive. You are accountable to the people.
Okay.
They don't actually give us accounts of their actions and why they make certain decisions.
Okay.
Too much of defensive comments that they dish out to the public. And I think the president should do the honorable thing, delegate power till he comes back into the country.
And our president is the first person in the whole of Nigeria when he was governor that had 3 vices, a deputy governor. Is that not true?
Okay. Yes.
He set that record. Maybe he wants to set the record. Yes, who knows? You get it. Records, Guinness, because our president loves Guinness Book of Records. They even mentioned it when he removed a fuel subsidy that his name is supposed to be in the... Now, so maybe he wants to do that. Who knows? Because I don't know why we have vice. You get it? Yeah. That his duty is to, look after the house when your guy is not around. And then he's not doing that. So we begin to wonder, why letting salary, a job not done? Because this is when he needs to work and it's not working. Now, maybe, I don't know, maybe there should be a law in Nigeria that anytime the president is stepping out of a country of Nigeria and is going to stay there for more than a week, the vice must constitutionally take place.
The constitution has actually provided for that.
That's it. Also, the president can be there for like 6 months and then still be ruling. And another thing
it happened during the tenure of Muhammadu Buhari, where he was out of the country immediately after the elections. He was out for 6 months.
Yes.
And he did not also let the vice also be in charge until later, after much persuasion. And even after the vice did, he didn't let him hold the reign for a long time.
And even those things, he changed it.
The question is, what is the fear? You run on the same ticket, meaning that whatever you do reflects on your vice, and whatever your vice does reflects on you. So what is the fear? Is it an individual thing? If it was an individual thing, then why do you need a vice?
And secondly, when you do things from remote, when you do it remotely, it means there's a crisis in the country. Let's face it. I remember when there was a lockdown, they told us to work remotely.
Yes.
Because there's a lockdown.
Yes.
And when the lockdown was removed, everybody began to come back to their offices. So are we in lockdown that the president is working remotely? Because I know when you work remotely, you spend more.
That question, is he on a lockdown?
I don't know. Maybe the president is, maybe they lock us or rock. He can't enter. So he's now working from France. Because I don't even know why, even if you want to work, you want to do a reflection of what you have done. You'll be on holiday. Where you rest and then you do a reflection.
I'm actually
you can't
not
be
buying
working.
that. I'm not buying the whole reflection story.
Reflection of what?
You can't do it in any part of the country.
In office. I'm not buying that. No, I'm not really buying that.
Why?
I'm not. Doesn't make sense to me.
The fact
you
that
want
it
to reflect on your 2 years in office and you have to travel out of the country to do that.
A lot of people believe that he went for medical
checkup. Okay, maybe somebody is not
telling us. They don't want to actually make him look vulnerable. They don't like to be transparent.
That is what I'm saying. They are
stuff like that.
They should open up. We should know what is going on with our president.
See, when Yeltsin, the president of Russia, had heart issue.
Former president of Russia.
Everybody knew. If the whole world knew that he wanted to go for surgery.
Even Israeli Prime Minister, when he had a prostate and he wanted to go for surgery, I think he has something with his prostate. Everybody knew.
Everybody did.
He was supposed to appear. I think he was supposed to appear at a panel or something, but he couldn't, and that was postponed because he needed to go for an emergency surgery, and the entire world knew about it. So if somebody is sick and the world knows about it, doesn't make you frail, doesn't make you weak.
The Nigeria situation is peculiar. I want to take you back to the time of late President Sharadua. Do you know the mystery that surrounded his medical visit then? You know, people were asking, is our president? You know, say no, he's this.
I don't know why they hide.
Even when he passed, they could not even, as if it was something
exactly
like
some occultic, like something occultic.
I think that political texture is peculiar.
I don't want to use it, I think it's peculiar. Let me use the word deceitful.
All right, let's head on. The Nigerian political atmosphere, as we know, is awash with speculation about 2027 general presidential election. And there are concerns about potential alliance involving former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate, Mr. Peter Obi. Now, Atiku had first hinted about the alliance in 2024 after what he described as a friendly meeting with Peter Obi, and it sparked speculations. He, however, confirmed the coalition talks in an interview with BBC Hausa. He said, yes, it's very much possible. We can merge to achieve a common goal. So it's possible and nothing can stop it if we wish to so achieve it. Now, the latest rumor around the alliance was ignited by the former vice president's visit to former President Muhammadu Buhari in Kaduna penultimate Friday. Now, on the list of those who accompanied Atiku to see Buhari were known political actors and gladiators, including the former governor of Kaduna State, as you know, El Rufai, former Speaker of the House of Representatives, who was also former governor of Sokoto State, and now is Senator Aminu Tumbuwal, a former governor of Adamawa State, Senator Brila, as well as a former governor of Benue State, Senator Gabriel, and the former governor of Imo State, Chief Achike Udenwa. Now, the meeting, according to reports, was first carried on, and it confirmed by other media channels, and multiple sources of a potential alliance. After that, we saw Ganduje and a couple of APC stalwarts visit former President Muhammadu Buhari. Now, after this happened, talks now came up. Segun Shewumi, I'm sure you know him, he's a PDP chieftain, and Etokunbo PSU, they've all been in the media talking about what happened, that it seems that the PDP is now weakened. What could have transpired? PDP seemed like loose feet, or they're, kowtowing to the administration, the current administration. Now, for Segun Shewumi, he believes that there was an agreement and Atiku did not live by it. For the zoning, the agreement was the fact that if the presidential candidate emanates from the north, the chairman should not be from the north. And if the chairmanship comes from the north, the presidentship should not be from the north. It's supposed to be from the south and then the north. But that did not happen. And so that was what caused the division in the party. And what's his name? Segun Shewumi is saying that the PDP is a brand. They cannot have any form of merger or coalition with anyone because they're already a brand. They have a national spread. And anyone coming to join their party must go through the ranks. Now, if Atiku intends to run by having to go about looking for this merger or coalition, why has he not spoken with some top PDP stalwarts that indeed he intends to run? Could it be because he knows they may not actually allow that? A lot of them are saying they're not part of a coalition and they don't even want him to actually fly the ticket. Do you think that's basically the scenario?
Okay, you want me to respond?
Yes, please. Perfect.
Now, what I think, though they are right, because PDP started having issue when Obi left. You get, because there was an issue at that moment. So they began to split. Some people left with Obi to Labour. Some people, you get it, there
some
was
people
a split.
stayed back.
Yes,
and there was the whole G5 thing.
So there was a lot of, so it's their you know, yes, it reduced them at that moment. Now, they have not been able to galvanize themselves together because of the fact that they did not address that issue the moment after the election. Supposed to do an overview of what really went, you know, what happened, so that you can see where you missed the point and then you'll be able to galvanize everything and redo your everything. But they didn't do that. You know why? Because I think we still have this hold on the party, and some people don't like that. You get it? So they didn't show their full participation in it.
Who did not show their full participation?
Some of those people.
Some party loyalists.
Yes. Then APC saw that advantage. You get it? And they just dropped one Onet. You know what Onet do now? Onet.
Okay.
The one we call Agbon. You know, Agbon Onet, that, you know, it will begin to sting everybody all over. So they just drop one Onet in their midst that begins to sting all of them and did not allow them to see where they are going. And that is Wiki. So
okay. The question now is this. What I want you to respond to is this, Mr. Lawa Akondayo. Atiku Abubakar has really been seeking for a strong measure. It almost it seems desperate. He reeks of desperation. He wants a political party. The question is, are you looking for this measure to unseat the current government, but you will not be the president? Or are you like an elder statesman that wants to be part of a party that would ensure that this administration does not continue in 2027 without you having to be the one at the helm of affairs? That is, without you being the presidential candidate. If that is the case, I don't think the PDP will have any issue with it. The issue right now is that a lot of them in the PDP do not want him to be the presidential candidate. And so he's been seeking for a coalition elsewhere. A coalition, is it about an individual or along with a political party? And if Peter Obi himself has come out to say that he's not with any form of political party, then what exactly is going on? Why the call for the coalition?
That coalition, I would say, is the savior, maybe what God wants to use for this country.
Are you sure? A coalition that is being talked about now just to unseat. It's not like it's a coalition that has the interest of the people at heart.
Let me tell you something. When a vehicle lost a brake, that's lost its brake, you'll be doing everything possible to salvage that vehicle. You get it? Everything at that moment you'll be looking for to find a way to stop that vehicle because there's a crisis. Now, that is the case with Nigeria. There's a crisis. This country is going to a direction that we know is not going to be pleasant. In fact, because it's not already pleasant. And keep going towards that direction. You get? So everybody is looking for a way out at this moment. Now, and they look at, and they know that the present administration is bent on holding on to.
Who isn't bent on holding on to
power?
No,
anyway? No, I'm good. And the country, you get it, majority of people wants another alternative. And another alternative that's strong enough to unseat the present administration must be a very, very powerful one. And that very powerful one is the merger. Because APC had to, APC is a merger of many parties before they could unseat PDP. Do you remember? Now, they know that merger is very, but the problem is
APC's case was different at the time because when it was ACN, they didn't have a national spread. And when it was also CPC, that of Buhari, there was no national, they each represented a particular region. So they needed to have a national spread. That's why there's a coalition. PDP is saying that they don't need to have any coalition because they're a brand. They represent all the geopolitical zones. If anybody wants to join them, fine. But for them to merge with another political party and start all over again, they wouldn't. That they just have to sanitize the system. I would like us to take a listen to Adetokunbo Pierce. He had a few things to say about this administration, about the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, and his first run, and obviously other plans about the People's Democratic Party. So let's take a brief listen to him.
You know, you got to give Bola Ahmed Tinubu credit for something. He's a master of manipulation of the media. He knows how to spread such. People are telling me.
That's the only thing you're giving him credit
The
for.
only thing. I know, and he knows how to win election because he has said by hook or crook. He will grab it if necessary and run with it. So you win the election by hook or crook. To govern is another issue. Zero. You can't do it. He's the kind of person, run election, get out. That's what he should do. Now, anyway, politics is so dynamic, you know. When Makinde had the deal in Oyo for governorship, it was survival. It was the deal. That deal is gone now. Now, he wants to run. Look, I talked to him about it, actually. Let me tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I met with him in November, and I said to him, I said, Governor, people are saying you are a front. They don't trust you. They say you are fronted. He told me, he said, but I'm not even 60 years old. Am I supposed to round up my career like this? He said, I'm ambitious too. That's why I'm working so hard in your state so that people will see that I qualify. Tinubu has had his term and he has failed the nation. He has exposed himself. He has embarrassed the Yoruba nation. We want to get rid of him. We want another Yoruba man to come and save this country, and I can do it. I said, are you also interested in restructuring? He said, you and I, me and him have been talking about it. I sent him papers on restructuring. He said, look, I will, even if I have one term, I will do it. Good. So this is why I trust him.
Okay.
And I also told him, I said, they're saying you are too close to Wike.
Yes.
He said, no, not anymore. He said, you know, they have a business relationship and they've been working together for a long time. It's not easy to, I said, you have to divorce yourself from this man, otherwise nobody's going to trust you. He said he's going to do everything he can.
Okay.
Notice something. Wike and Makinde are not on the same page anymore. If you don't know that, look at what happened with the National Secretary.
All right.
The National Secretary makes it clear. Wike wanted Anyanwu to remain as National Secretary and continue to do his bidding. Makinde wants Okoye to be the National Secretary, get rid of Anyanwu. So they are not together politically anymore.
All right, so very quickly on Lagos.
Wike wanted to destroy Fubara. Makinde joined the other governors to support Fubara. So they are not pleased.
I get your point.
So when people say things like this, it doesn't make sense.
All right.
It doesn't make sense, but it's good PR.
So very quickly, sir. You were saying something about Jando and Duarte.
By the way, Wike saying that whatever it doesn't want, is trying to help us in PDP so that we don't collapse. This is a man who has declared war against us. He's crying louder than the bereaved. And as for Shea, he has said his.
Very interesting. That was Adetokunbo Pierce speaking on, defending his friend. Speaking on the fact that if at all Seyi Makinde intends to go, well, he's no longer in alignment with Nyesom Wike or even with the former G5 as they were in 2023. Now, let's look at the Atiku proposition and Peter Obi as his vice. Now, there are sources disclosing that if Peter Obi could win Tinubu in Lagos when the APC in the state was a one bunch, it would be a walkover now that the party is in disarray, following the way the president has Mudashiru Obasa and the State House of Assembly crisis, which has polarized the party in the state. Now, Obi, in the 2023 general elections, got 582,454 votes in Lagos in what was considered a massive upset, while Tinubu scored 572. The thinking is that this will likely repeat itself and most likely on a wider margin in 2027. Now, based on this particular situation, the media is being used to percolate certain discrepancies, specifically the whole think about an ethnic group first before the other, to dissuade non-indigents in the state from voting in 2027. However, the plan is this. If the impending alliance between Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi presents an interesting dynamic in the lead up to the next election and if realized, could significantly alter the political landscape of the country. My question is this same ticket run in 2019, it did not work. How are we certain in 2023 it would work? If the PDP is not happy with Atiku because they believe that the downfall or what is going on right now with the PDP was a cause by Atiku's greed for wanting to be in power and not respecting the zoning system, then how is it certain that if at all there is any alliance under which political party PDP governors or the PDP members are refusing to have any form of alliance or coalition or measure according to Atiku? What's your take on that, Larry?
Well, I think it's time for Atiku to step down.
Okay.
And let someone else take the reign. If I were a PDP chieftain, I would try all my best to bring back Peter Obi to run. Imagine if Peter Obi had run under the umbrella of PDP at the last election. PDP have the national spread, have the structure. Let Obi be the face.
But what if they did not pick him as their vice? Because in 2019, that was what happened and they didn't win. Yeah. And so how were you certain if he had remained in PDP that he would have been selected as a vice in 2023?
I am saying, here's what I'm saying, that option should have been considered and taken.
Okay.
I think Atiku should just step down. He should stop running for presidency. At this time, we need a new breath of life. We need a new face.
Okay.
He has tried. He has given it a try multiple times. It hasn't worked. So let someone else have a bite of the cherry.
Would you advise Peter Obi to run in 2027?
Yes.
Are you sure?
And here
you think
why.
the obedient stronghold is as committed as they were in 2023?
Peter Obi is the only name that gave that sense of opposition in the country now.
But a couple of people feel that he is not really a politician. They felt he did not use the energy that was on the tornado that was on in 2023 to pursue this. They feel that this administration have actually done a lot in putting fear in him. For example, if you go on X, every day is one abuse or the other, one form of derogatory term. There is always one thing that they use to disparage his personality, which has made his support base a little bit afraid of staying firm. You put doubts in their mind by bringing a form of any kind of information you can gather to discredit his personality. So do you think he has that base, that support system, as he had in 2023 to advise him to run again in 2027?
Well, for me, it's not in my place to say whether or not he should run. Okay. But if you are someone with a vision, I believe you pursue that vision. And what you mentioned about, the APC throwing that at him, is just normal in the political space. It is normal in the political space.
On a daily basis, is Peter Obi. We don't see that on Atiku as bad.
Peter Obi is the number one. I don't use the word opposition now, but that's what I can. Imagine a man without a political party yet command such followership. So you can expect.
Are you now telling us that he's no longer a part of the Labour Party when you say a man without a political party?
Himself has come out to say that for now.
No, he's told us that he's with the Labour Party. Have you not seen the committee that was set up where they took the TTC Supreme Court judgment to INEC to officially recognize the Nadi Usman-led committee? Although right now, according to Mr. Lawa Ekundayo, that the Labour Party is like a 3-story building. There are 3 factions in the Labour Party. No. So the obedience are really not happy with him remaining in the Labour Party. But then they don't want him to be a VP to Atiku Abubakar. So if the obedience don't want Peter Obi to be a VP to Atiku and they want him to be the presidential candidate of which political party? Well, the Labour Party seems to have credibility. So which other political party would he join? If you have the SDP, you have the likes of El Rufai, you have a couple of other persons joining the party, what you call the presidential interests, then how would he go through the rank for a unanimous vote that, okay, you will be a flag bearer? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. So if he leaves, there's a possibility that he may not be chosen. So politically, his career may not kick off in 2027. So he rather stays with the Labour Party. And the Labour Party has lost credibility. So what would happen? Yeah. The obedient movements do not want him to be a VP to Atiku.
Esther, right now, not that I'm an hardline supporter of Obi or anything,
okay,
but right now, Obi has more pull than most of those people you've just mentioned.
All right.
Obi has more pull than most of those people you just mentioned. And any political party right now that has Peter Obi in its coffers has gotten a major.
There's an issue about that.
Okay.
There's an issue about that. You see, it's not about the political party only. It's not about the popularity. It also has to do with the structure. The structure is very, if not, it's easy to manipulate if your structure is not sound. Even when you win, they will manipulate it.
And that's why I prefer that he goes back to PDP.
I want Maja. My own is that Maja.
How do you know? How do you know he'll be chosen as a presidential candidate, even if he goes to the PDP?
Let me say something. That 2023, PDP, APC, and Labour were not the only party presenting presidential candidates.
Okay.
AAC was there. So many were there. You get it. And then you'll be that, came some. Now, what I mean, this other man, there are so many of them. Now, if we have all these ones merging together, you understand, to form a mega one, it will be as strong as PDP.
I don't think so.
You get what? If the problem we have is that, and people, that's why I keep telling people, I keep saying it publicly. See, Nigerians are not after the party at this moment. They are not after party. That's why you see, even if you go on street, you really see people coming out to defend the current administration.
Obviously.
Even on media, you really see them, except the spokesperson of the presidency or what, you really see anyone coming out to defend. You get to let you know that they too, they don't understand, they don't know what to say. You get it? Because people will launch questions at you, you won't be able to answer, you just disgrace yourself. Now, the thing is this, that is what is going on. So people are looking for, that's why when Obi say, oh, they are already ready to attack him compared to Atiku, because they know that Obi has the biggest threat to them at this moment. So they want to discredit him in the mind of the people as much as possible, so that the people will not follow him as an individual. You get what I'm saying?
All right. Mr.
Even when you talk about opposition, Obi he has a face, but Showore has, as a is acting more as an opposition. As a politician more than Obi. But I think Obi is being very careful. You know why? Because he doesn't want the present administration to launch an attack against him. Because if Apple to say one or two things, they can arrest him. You think they cannot arrest him?
You said launch an attack against. Have they not been attacked?
I'm not talking about verbal one. They can say maybe he said something and then they arrest him and they put him on trial.
Go ahead.
Now, you are saying that he does not need a political party. Blah, blah, blah.
No, I'm not saying it doesn't.
Like now that people are no longer concerned about the name of the party.
I'm not saying they are not concerned. I said more. I said people are more concerned.
But if experience have taught us anything in this country is that for you to win an election, you need a structure on ground.
I said that.
And that was one of the things that was his bane during this last election.
Yes.
You had a lot of people who could vote for you. You had a lot of people online, but you do not have full soldiers. For you to win any election in this country, you need full soldiers. Let us not take away from the obvious. Let us not take away from the obvious. This is how it is being done. In this country, you need food soldiers. You need a political party that in the whole 36 of the country that they are ready to follow up the votes, ready to do house-to-house campaign for you.
Okay.
That was lacking in the last election.
Let me ask you a question. I'm not disputing what you are saying.
Ask your question, Mr. Lawa. We don't have time.
Thank you. You know me, I always love to spread things. Now, why is it that many people believe that Obi won? You don't know that. Why is it that many people on media, they say it, you get it, that Obi won, that it is Supreme Court and INEC, that it is judiciary and INEC that actually rob him of his mandate. Why are they saying that? That is it, because see, people know what goes on. They know, and they see it as that the man has been robbed. They have nobody since the Nigerian election has occurred. No one has ever been said. Nothing has, what they are saying about Obi, it has not been said about any other person apart from MKO Abiola.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to wrap up the political spotlight right about now. It's been quite an interesting session with you. Once again, we do sincerely apologize for not starting at the appropriate time. Like I told you, we had some issues to deal with. Happy Easter to you. My name is Esther Mwachuku.
I am Bamidele Damilare.
I'm Lawal Ekundayo.
Quite an interesting moment. This is VOP 903 FM. You can actually follow us across the social media handles at VOP 903 FM. On television is at VOP TV. On YouTube as well, personal, you can actually follow me on ESTIQMEDIA, Estic Media on YouTube. We sincerely do apologize for not taking your comments right about now. There are some things being worked on, but hopefully by tomorrow, everything will be smooth and lovely. We get your reaction and recommendation on the issues discussed. Once again, happy Easter to you. Good night.